Hey, here we go. Another show. We're inside the studio today due to the weather.
Well, it's freezing.
Typical fall day in Buffalo. It's not the worst, but it's definitely different than what we were used to a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, today's sponsors, Jack Daniels. Old Time Green, though. This is the green.
Yeah.
So,
Put a little bit pinch between the cheek and gum.
yeah, so we're... Tommy had his Bills jacket last week. I got mine this week.
Some things have gone on. Where do you want to start?
I think we got to start with Eichel, right, and Sabres.
Yeah, the big news, Jack got traded, and as we have said on this show many times, it made the most sense for Vegas. It's funny, Wayne and I were talking a couple nights ago. I was listening to Vegas on the satellite radio. They were playing Toronto, and I said,
Toronto.
this team is, when are they going to make the move for Jack? They were struggling on the power play.
Mm-hmm.
They're struggling injury-wise, period.
Right.
They couldn't even get in the zone, and here they are. It's just 1-0 or 2-0 with the Leafs. I think they ended up losing 4-0.
Yeah.
But obviously Jack can't help them right away. But that was the team that, to me, made the most sense.
Yeah, and I think we all got thrown a curveball the other night by Kevin Weeks, basically saying that, Kachuk, a kid named Zary, which was a top prospect, and some picks were coming. But Adams today said that was not true. And now let's break that down for a moment, right? Everybody went nuts. Well, we should have taken the Kachuk deal. Number one, I don't think it was out there.
Me neither.
I think it wasn't out there because I think Calgary stood firm and said they wanted us to hold some contract value or payments on Jack, and we said no. And lastly, I was under the wrong impression last night, but he is just coming off. This is the last year of a 3-year, $7 million deal. Now he's RFA, but he's looking at, he wants to be in the $8 to $9 million crowd.
And he's a really good hockey player, but Kachuks are a tough negotiating family.
That's a good point.
The dad
is
brother,
tough.
him, and
well, Brady held out.
Yeah, he did, but he's a hell of a hockey player. But I don't think that particular trade was really what was going on.
No, I think somebody got their signals crossed there.
Vegas to me made the most sense, though. They're a team that's ready. Their refusal to give up some of their prospects amused me because you're getting a 24-year-old superstar, and I feel he will get healthy.
Be fine.
There is a question mark, though. Vegas is putting their money where their mouth is too. They're going to let him have the disc replacement,
right?
And there's no conditions that we're aware of on the trade. It's Alex Tuck.
Yep.
Peyton Krebs. A first-round pick, controlled next year, top 10.
Right.
And a second-round pick the following year. And everything backs up, of course, if for some reason they lose.
It is top 10.
And get a top 10 pick, then it would back up. But
so kudos on a couple things, right? You just said it. One, we talked about we're not holding any salary, and that helps us down the line when we got to sign these young guns.
Confusing to some of our reporters today that why didn't we want to hold salary for a better trade? And truth of the matter was there was no better trade there, holding salary or not. So go ahead.
Correct. And I think secondly, kudos to Adams also for what you just said, which is no conditions on that pick. Well, conditions top 10, but what I mean is for Jack's performance or health or so. I think if you look at Reinhart and Jack and Ristolainen going, we got quite a haul back for those guys.
Yeah, we did, and I hold no ill feelings toward any of the three. They're young, they're frustrated, and like we've said nauseously on this show, these young guys don't know how to make teams better. They never have to.
Right.
And also fault to Sabres management with some completely blown trades and decisions and stuff. And I know you can all blame the Pagulas, and I guess that's where the puck has to stop. But they hired most, except for Bilesma, I was happy with everybody they hired.
Yeah, they were all up and comers, supposedly. I think one of the things we finally just got verification of things that Tom and I have talked about for a couple of weeks about how Jack wanted out of here before
Yes,
the season
we
he
said
got hurt.
that. Yep.
And he just confirmed it with, I believe it was Dreger. He said he went to the Sabres after his great year with the 80-some points and said, if this is another rebuild, I'm not in.
Right.
And what he said in the interview was interesting. He said it did not go over well with the Sabres.
Right.
However, he's got to be true to himself as well. At that point, it was 5 years of complete losing. Then he goes, Adams goes out, does a great job, gets Hall, gets a couple guys. He goes, and then we get it in the season, and we're nothing.
Right, and in fairness to the Sabres too, it's going to irk you because of everything they've gone through
To get them.
I have you, and we're going to try and now I don't have you. So it was ugly. Again, then the injury happened.
I don't dislike him, and frankly, I know he's getting a lot of shit on Twitter. Pussy, not a captain, everything.
Stupidity.
You know what? We rooted for him. Don't lie to yourself.
He was dynamite, and he'd sure be sweet on this team right now.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I don't blame him. You know what? If we can't win a cup, and Sammy Reinhart hoists one, or Jack Eichel, I'll be happy.
What are you going to do? I mean, Sam was also another one who I think really thought about it, but they needed a change of scenery. And sure, and if you guys watch Embedded, he calls back. Sam Reinhart calls Kevin Adams back right after the trade, an hour or so later during the draft and everything, and kind of with a little remorse and to say that maybe he really didn't want to. He was torn between giving Donnie a chance and the direction the Sabres were going. But
I think he got the feels right. It was like the kid grew up here, as Eichel did, and it's tough to leave, but they're in good places. For me, this trade's going to come down to, and it's pretty obvious, is Peyton Krebs. I think we know what we get with Tuck. He's about a 40 to 45 point guy, about a half point a game. He's extremely good as far as analytically on 5-on-5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he'll get you 18 to 20 goals.
He's big.
Yep.
He's
got
tough,
hands.
and he's a super skater.
Super skater, good in the corners. He'll be in front of the net on offense and defense. He'll knock your teeth out. We needed a guy like him.
He wants to be here. It was his team growing up.
Yep.
He's thrilled. I was pretty excited when I heard this morning the trade broke. Andrew Peters tweeted the morning show on the Yellow Pages, and I know Peters has ties with the Tuck family. He coached Luke Tuck. And I said, that's got to mean that Alex is super excited. So that's good.
So Krebs, let's go back to him for a minute. 6 foot, 180 pound center. Dynamite 2 years ago, year and a half ago with Cousins for the U20 team of Canada. Absolute dynamite. Started out slow, but he's playing on a team where everybody's injured, so it's all a bunch of prospects and fourth liners playing for Vegas right now.
Dropped to 17th that year as a pick by Vegas because of an Achilles injury that he had. So he might have been drafted a little bit higher.
Right.
Like we said on the show, he fits in that Middlestat Cousins range.
Yep.
You're not getting that generational player back. It just wasn't going to happen, and we knew it.
Well, if they're out there, you're not getting them anyway.
Right, and you're getting some really nice potential. They sent him to Rochester immediately. I think that's a good idea.
Good move.
Talk will be ready in about a month, and you'll start seeing great things are going on down there with Jack Quinn, Peterka.
I love Peterka. I think he should be here, but
Samuelson.
But Quinn should wait down there. I think this kid Krebs needs some time. A little bit of a misunderstanding. So somebody came out and said he really will start skating in about a month. Okay, but when Don Adams, Jesus,
Don Granato.
No,
are you talking about the Sabre with the spinal problem? The Buffalo Braves center with the spinal curve?
That's why I slipped there. When Kevin Adams was asked about it, he said January, couple of months. So we'll see. I'm thinking probably first of the year. Yeah. But we're going to see Alex Tuck soon. And Peterka, Quinn, these guys aren't far from this lineup. No, they're not. And, when you look at the prospects and what they're doing outside in college and down in the AHL, this team could be really, really good.
And again,
if we get about half to 3/4 of them to come through for their potential, you got a hell of a team.
And again, you can say, well, we've been waiting for that for years. Well, not with this GM.
Not with this guy.
Not with this coach. And it is what it is. I love my hockey. The team's fun to watch. Is it frustrating? Yeah, but they are what they are right now.
You love hockey, but you never wear anything Sabres.
No, not on this show yet. Anyways, although I think last week I did wear a Sabre jersey. But anyways,
Yeah.
or a Sabre shirt maybe.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it was covered by Bill's jacket.
the thing is with the Sabres, they're giving a chance right now to these guys with prove me things, Butcher and Kurdula and Bjork and Vinny, number 29. And were they down on the depth chart? Weren't they? They're getting their chance now.
Yeah. You want to play in the league? Let's see it. I mean, for example, Bjork. I mean, my God, I don't even hear his name anymore. The only I heard him yesterday or 2 days ago because a puck went off him and into our own net. So.
And I think what happens is what the Vegas commentators were talking about with Krebs. Brian Blessing was on, a former Buffalo guy, still a Buffalo lover. He's their voice of the. He's like their duffer in Vegas.
Yeah, and he's a ginger. Brian Shanahan, he's a ginger, by the way.
And he said Krebs hasn't done much because really no one on the team has done much. I think that's kind of the problem with the Sabres right now too.
Could be.
These guys are it's all puzzle pieces, and they're getting a chance to play. You still want to see something, and
never liked puzzles.
Guys start fitting in. We know Vinny isn't
a Stroza
top line guy.
Well, if I could interrupt, and I shouldn't, but I just started to get a little jiggy with it here, right? Because I'm thinking Cousins, Middlestat, Krebs, and
Tage Thompson
playing some
center.
So if you get two of those guys out of the four to break out and be really good top six,
right?
And the other two is your third and fourth. You know what? You're damn young and talented down the center.
Right,
but it's got to work out.
And you still have, obviously, let's face it, I watch the Sabres now. I want us to win. But when we lose, there's a really nice draft coming up. Hey, it is what it is.
Right.
And finishing 15th and Joe Armia isn't going to get us there.
Right.
But it's not that I want to lose for that, but that is the, well, at least we got that to look forward to. There's some really nice players coming out. We have
it's a deep draft, and we have 3 number 1 picks.
3 number 1 picks this year. We have Isaac Rosen, who they took last year.
He's the only Jewish Swede.
He is, and so there is some hope on the horizon. And again, if just some of them hit, you know. We also have a kid in the Quebec League. I don't know the name, Wayne, but he's been scoring a ton of goals. So there is some stuff coming. It's unfortunately going to take time. So just enjoy some hockey, relax, and
I'm excited. I'm excited about Levi and.
Devin Levi, the goalie.
Portello. I mean, we got 2 goalies in the college ranks that are eating it up. And now get them signed before they're seniors, or we know what can happen.
Ryan Johnson, also a junior now in college.
A junior.
A little curious about that move. But we got into a place with our last GM where he just believed in college players and Euros because it bought him more time. He never knew how to make a decision.
Because he couldn't make a decision, and it killed us.
And you just got to sign those kids. You don't want them to get into that senior year and pull that Jimmy Vesey stunt or Cal Peterson.
Who pissed me off royally. We developed that piece of dirt. In any event, that's the Sabre news. Sabre game tonight. Thank God it's on MSG, so I don't have to,
sit
pay
back,
more money.
Watch the team play. Watch some of these guys develop. Cousins, he's getting better. It is what it is right now, right?
Yeah.
And
I still look. I said it last time. I still look forward. I wake up. It's Thursday. And a game tonight. You know, I enjoy it. We're on the cusp of winter in Buffalo, and quite frankly, there's not a hell of a lot to do unless just ski.
Right, and then you're going to start seeing these young players slowly come up the chain here, and I think there's going to be some good times here. Granado's the coach; he's going to be here. I love his attitude. I love the way he coaches. And
by the way, he was ticked the other day. Somebody said sometimes he's too soft. I heard he was extremely ticked after that game the other day. He said half the team gave it very little effort. He was furious.
Right, and you want to play here? Is it sustainable?
Yeah.
You want a job?
You want a job? Or
There's guys 90 minutes down the highway there in Flower City.
You can pump gas.
Right. So moving on, Bills game against Jacksonville. Should win game, but anything can happen in this league. The Bills on their day, Jacksonville's not in the same field with them.
No.
So, but
I got a 14-point favorite. Going back a little bit though on last game, Tom, I told you this off air in our production call. I I stood there, watched the game. I was working it, and like I always do at home, and I watched it. And first half, I was like, man, this is just awful. It's just awful. What's going on? Remember, it was 3-3 at the half. Luckily, because we got the fumble that stopped them from scoring. But anyway, live, I was going, this is awful. This is awful. Well, the next day, I taped the games. I watched the first half. And I said, it wasn't awful. The D held them to 3. What made the D look bad is they would give up the third down conversion, okay? And it would keep them on the field. So
Right.
that was that. But they still only gave up 3. The offense, it was always just a little something.
Right.
Little something. Like,
And kudos to a couple of nice plays by Miami's D. Right?
yeah, and
On
they were
some
playing
of
us. They were blitzing, and everybody was talking about the line stinks, the offensive line can't block. On the pass rushing, I looked up at Pro Football Focus. On the pass protection, they were ranked second this week. What happened is they were bringing 6 and 7 guys.
Right.
And we couldn't get him. So Josh is athletic enough, he never was sacked.
Right.
I mean, but what happens? He's on the run. He's got a wide open Stephon Diggs on the first drive.
Throws when he could have ran forever, but if he makes a little bit better throw, he's running forever.
He's running forever.
Somebody's running forever.
So it was always a little thing, right? And you could see the Bills make some changes, right? We decided they're going more zone. So, and they're going to go two deep zone on us. Great. Okay, your turn, number 11.
Yeah.
And Beasley just sitting in zones, crossing patterns. This team is good. And we got to stop worrying about, 4 minutes into the first quarter, it's not going to be 21-0 every
Right.
week.
And you look around the league, it's not happening anywhere. This defense
That's my point.
gave up 3 points
Yeah.
in this game.
Right.
All right? And we'll get to that other touchdown in a second. Who's doing that? And
Nobody.
the
We're
touchdown,
we're by far the lowest team.
we talk about refereeing.
Yeah.
And you found the picture out there that they scored the touchdown.
Right.
Miami, right? I have 20 over 2200 vision on a good day. I see a white helmet rolling on the field, and I said,
On the pass play to the 2.
how did that happen? Right. How did that happen? These helmets are suctioned on and then tire pumped
Fire
on,
pumped.
and it's a helmet rolling there. Now you see during the week, there's a hand in the guy's, in Russo's face,
Right.
and the referee's looking right at
He's
it.
staring at it, pushed it right off his head. And that's that 45-yard bomb. And a slight push off against Micah Hyde. Probably not, I wouldn't have called it.
Right, me too.
But the hands to the face. And this crew called it 4 times that day. And some were just like taps. He shoved his helmet right off.
And here's the thing, and this is what we get back to.
Here's the deal.
When they decide to call it, well, what is it in their heads that, well, we can't call another hands to the face?
They can't.
You call it until they stop doing it. That's put in there for protection.
Yeah.
And you
Because
got his
basically,
hand up
you
in
could
there.
snap your neck.
And how many times did Josh get hit in the head? That 98 or whatever for Miami was going after Josh's head quite a bit.
They really
It goes
were.
back to the last game.
Yep.
And then you saw when we went for the 2, the bye-bye,
Yep.
he waved bye-bye to him and stuff. And then the other with the where's the sky judge, right? The
Yeah.
sky judge who immediately
Never-
jumped in.
Jumps in over in Tennessee.
Oh, he was there on Tennessee, but yesterday or Sunday, where was he for some of this stuff? Now I understand some of it he's not there for.
Right.
But what was it, the third down drawing him off sides,
Yeah, he was offside.
and Josh gets sacked, and then he throws the ball and the intentional grounding and all that, and we're told by the Jimmy Lofton there on the color, which I didn't think those guys did a bad job. Well, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Jim. It was Mike Santori who comes on.
Oh, yeah,
from the
the
referees.
idiot.
Well, it would have been offsetting penalty stuff. No, the second one doesn't happen.
No, and
He
they,
jumped off sides.
they did clarify too that if it was free play, it's not offsetting penalties. It's 5 yards.
Right.
So.
And yeah, the Bills probably thought, they're just going to call it. You can never assume.
No, but I love Josh Allen. I don't want another quarterback here, including that half-breed,
No.
Mahomes. But what I do, he's pointing at the ref and pointing over at the left side of the line while he's running. Now, yeah, can't do that, Josh.
No, and it's absurd, but it's the league. They want it 8-8. They want everybody 8-8. They want these games, and I believe they're refereed that way, and it can go either way, right? So,
anyway, I guess to summarize on from my point of view, we didn't have a good first half. I thought that, and I don't complain about Daboll. You won't hear it here.
no.
I thought though, the first half we were getting a little jiggy with the wide receiver screens for a yard. A lot of horizontal passes. I know they were in a 2-deep zone, but that doesn't mean you can't throw down and outs and over the middle. I mean, it got a little crazy. So that was that. However, a good football team, right, overcame and still won by 15 points.
And again, remember, and we said this, I think, in the Pittsburgh game maybe, we don't know what's sent in and what Josh changes to
He
or
could
does.
change to him, sure.
You know?
And he got a little riled, too, because they said on the first 25 plays, 20 were all out blitzes.
Right.
So, Josh, at that point, I think he turns into, number one, such a great athlete, he doesn't get sacked. So that kudos to him. Kudos on his move and his athleticism. But then sometimes he gets a little fired up, either angry or fired up, and then it's not Josh. So he's learning to control that.
Another thing, when I saw the healthy scratchers for the Bills, or whatever you want to call them, inactives, and I saw Vernon Butler raised a little eyebrow with me. I know they love him. And of course, he kept one of the drives going when he was blatantly, I think, offsides or whatever he did. But you find out later that Zimmer was kind of nagging a little bit of an injury there, and somebody else. So whatever. It's. I love this team, and I love those uniforms they wore to Standing Buffalo.
Oh man, white on white with the Standing Buffalo, baby.
Yep.
I don't ever want to see blue pants again. First of all, we have a losing record with them. Second of all, they're ugly.
And it was just great. And these teams, and kudos to Miami. Tua had kind of a Tyrod Taylor first half there, where he was pinpoint on his passes and very short and safe. And you can't guard a lot of that anymore in this league. You got to almost let them catch the ball.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, unless you slam them in the 5 yards, but then if they get behind you, listen. I think we got spoiled. We're still the number 1 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
We're the number 2 offense. My God, guys.
Was I a little nervous in the first half, 3-3? Yeah,
Me too.
You know, it is what it is, and
I admit it.
I
just said,
tough.
Don't let this turn into a Pittsburgh game.
No, and each week.
You keep them in there.
Look at these scores around the league. I mean, the New York Jets bring some guy out of nowhere and he throws for 450 yards on somebody.
Well, I guess my question is, how do you figure this out? And this is why we don't bet, right? Cincinnati goes into Baltimore and annihilates them. Then you go into to New York City and get beat by the Jets.
Who played a really good game, and the guy was on money.
Not even mocking them, but just saying.
Yeah.
They were like 16-point favorites, and they got beat.
And one other thing we said on this show with Benorquez, you know, how we were not big Hack fans and Benorquez, and we brought up on the show about his holding.
Right.
Benorquez on the extra points, and there was an issue with that last year.
In the
Green Bay game, the Green Bay game with Green Bay and Cincinnati, Green Bay's kicker, who's really money in the bank, Crosby missed 3 in the game, and
cost him the game.
The holder there was Benorquez.
That's right.
This week it came out that one of the reasons the Bills really like Matt Hack is his holding ability. He's very good at that. Yeah. Well, okay, but you heard that from us that Benorquez was a little shady on some of that, but I'm not a big...
Let me say this about that, this and that. Because you're right, the holding in the beginning is why. Remember, at first we're going,
what's wrong with Bass?
What's wrong with K-Bass? I mean, this guy can't kick. He kicked great in preseason. Well, then after like only 2 or 3 misses, nothing crazy, the guy went on a streak. So Benorquez can I think he can hold the ball. But anyway, I think this punter's, a 19-yard shank.
Right.
Really, no wind. Virtually no wind.
He doesn't have a super long leg, we were told by the Bills media today. But here's the problem. Yeah, we're not punting right now from our own zone. We might have to.
And the weather's been good. I mean, wait till we get howling winds and sideways snow.
And you look at a punter like the kid out of Tennessee's punter from here, Rex Kern or whatever his name is. Yeah. He kind of helped them win the game against Indy the other day with a super punt in overtime that was in the roof of the dome.
Yep.
No hang time, 50-yard punt. And, of course, Carson Wentz went to work and gave that ball right back to Tennessee. But anyways, we move on.
So this week, shout out to my son Zach and his buddy Lamar. They're going down to Jacksonville to see the game, leaving Saturday. So have fun, buddy. Wish I was joining you.
Did they get seats under the tarp? Or is it
they're cheaper. They're $10, but you have to sit under a tarp.
Right.
That, for all you people who don't know, they used to put tarps all over their stadiums to cover seats.
Cover empty seats.
So they'd get the sellout so they could put it on TV.
Don't quite get the Jacksonville thing as a team and stuff, and I guess they wanted another team in Florida, but
they don't really support
it's a college town, really.
It's a college town.
But whatever.
What else? That's about it for the Bills. I mean, I see us probably losing by 10, but it'll be a good game. No,
I think
I think the Bills cover
it's
again.
a focused football team, and I think they'll go down there and take care of business.
Me too. Anything else?
No, I move on. Not shocked, by the way, of inactivity at the trade deadline. I think if there was a young player that could really have changed something here, the Bills would have made a move. But to bring an aging guy in and blah, blah, blah. No.
I'm with you there. My only fear for this team is if Trey Day goes down, because we don't have a lot of depth at corner. I mean, you got Cam Lewis, and you got the kid from Pitt, but the bottom line is that would be tough.
And I also think, God, let's hope that doesn't come to that.
Yeah, hold on,
that and this and that. But there's also street guys that they're aware of, and I don't know what we have on the practice squad, but
they go find them.
Right.
Oh, kudos to long-haired hippie freak out there in Green Bay, Rogers, with his his progressive insurance bullshit or State Farm.
Right.
So he tells the NFL he's been vaccinated. Well, actually, it was some hyperbaric chamber. And so now he gets COVID, and guess who they're playing? Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
Where they go, shithead?
It's Sunday Night Football?
I don't know.
And it's where?
It's in Kansas City.
Do they ever play on the road?
Yep.
Hoda will come on in the morning, and another comeback by Patrick Mahomes. Blah, blah, blah.
And tell him somebody cut that afro and get rid of the kazoo helmet on this guy. He don't have a forehead. He's got a 5-head. It's so freaking big.
Well, anyways.
Yeah, we
digress. We move on now. We had election week.
Yes.
And I think some good, speaking of woke, people woke up. And where were they last November? But great messages sent in Virginia and a tight race in New Jersey. Now, I'm confused about something, right? For years, voting was the Tuesday in November, first Tuesday in November, whatever.
Right.
And usually by 9 o'clock at night, you could turn on Channel 4 and they had that expert that they'd pull out of a coffin and he would talk.
From Canisius College.
Yeah, and you'd have the glasses with 60, you could
see
Mars craters. And he would say who'd won. Now they're voting in September, right?
But you can't count till election night.
You can't?
No.
Because now it's too close to call. We don't know.
We don't know for weeks. And here's the issue. When I voted when I was young, there were voting booths. You went in and clicked the lever. Those voting booths, basically each booth had everything tabulated. Now, we're looking at dots and dot matrices and who the hell filled in a name right and sweet Jesus.
And by the way, our 23,000 people voted for a moron for mayor of the city of Buffalo.
I personally know I would have probably circled in the India Walton, if not for anything but those nude blanket pictures.
Oh, pig in a blanket? Sweet. But no, 23,000 people and 40-some thousand wrote in for Byron Brown. Where the hell was everybody else? You can't. How did you stay home?
The turnout.
Time
terrible.
for a change?
Yeah.
With a crook?
She's got so many convictions of felony, assault, tickets, selling nudies.
She's running around the streets with Sean Ryan, another politician, who now is COVID positive.
Yeah.
And she might get tested by the end of the week. What about all the people she ran into? What do you mean the end of the week?
End of the week. Personally, I wouldn't get close to her because the shit might fly off her. I don't know what's...
in Virginia, a great message sent.
Yeah.
And we're told that it was white supremacy that took over, lying about CRT. No, you're being lied to by Barack Obama and all those people that are telling you there wasn't CRT. No, there was.
Right.
All right. But here's what they're not telling you. 4 black people won in landslides in this horrifically racist Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah.
How come you don't hear about that?
Never hear about it because we're just
in landslides
white
and
supremacy.
Because they're Republican.
Yeah, because people have had enough of giving away the United States of America.
We're giving away. We have open borders, and for some of you lefties out there, I don't think if you are out there, you're not listening to us. But you're out there. If you feel that bad about being white or something, go work in a soup kitchen. Donate something to the city mission. Don't bring me down with a vote. I don't want to donate money to this shit.
Wait. Did the Swedish girl talk yet?
Oh, and don't even our leadership's jet lining out there to Scotland for this
gold
clean
jet
air. We're just going to go to
airliner.
gas and all this shit. The Chinese are going to march in here.
So yeah, so we have the clean energy, the green U.S. or the green summit, and what happens? Russia's not there, China's not there. And
Iran is in the streets today. There's 200 protesters burning American flags, saying "Death to America." Of course, they're all at gunpoint.
Yeah.
But
and India. So what
are
we talking
We're
about?
opening up the negotiations again with the Iranians. How much money can we give?
So $3 billion, representing $3 billion of $7 billion in the whole world, did not come, and they're the highest polluting countries in the world. Boy, it's going to help a lot with our 300 million.
Confucius say,
what does he say?
"He who not want to stand in pool of piss,
Yes.
should make sure no one piss in pool."
Wow, that's profound.
And if we're all on the globe here, and only the U.S. is cutting back, hey, we're gonna cut back, and the Chinese ain't, we're still in that quote-unquote pool of peas.
Let me tell you, it's not going to work.
By the way, he shit his pants in front of the Pontiff. And he fell asleep in front of Gerda. Do you see that?
That's what I was doing. I was sleeping. Wait a minute.
It's a shame.
Now, talk about the Pontiff. I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, that was the big rumor. He excused himself from a meeting with the Pope. I'm not making this up. And apparently he had some stomach issues or something.
He soiled himself. Now,
I don't know.
Normally, an older person soiling themselves does not make me laugh. I feel bad.
But he's the leader of the
But he's
free
the
world.
leader. You voted him in.
I don't know.
Anyway, good stuff.
That was floating around. Again, it could be a horrific
Floating around
rumor.
the toilet?
Well, that was floating around in his trousers.
His
But
slacks?
he is a shit stick liar. Now, $450,000.
Davenport.
Poor illegal. Okay, $1 million cap on a family. These people are going to live in Spalding Lake. They're illegal.
I know.
For coming into our country. They asked him yesterday, and he yelled back about, "That's not true." Well, you better check with his DOJ, because they are going to try and do that.
Well, it's in this, the infrastructure, the American people want.
And you know, all the American people, if you watch Anderson, in the Cooper Pooper. Anyways, if you watch him, the American people want infrastructure. Well, hold on. Yeah, I want fixed bridges and roads and all that stuff, but I don't want Hector and Jose coming in for free and all the money
It's all
going over
buried in
there,
there, yeah.
and this crew of little Hitler youth going around taking my lawnmower from me and all that. Now, you see that in California? You got to get push lawnmowers because of the energy.
Yeah, you can't have anything gas operated.
This country's going to hell in a fruit basket.
But maybe the other day we saw a change. Maybe this will push us to the midterms
Let's
next
hope.
year and get the hell out of
By
this
the way,
mess.
the Chinese have been building up their navy. They got more nuclear arms, different missiles. But our admiral, Fruity, he's all over it.
Well,
She's all over it. It's all over it.
What was it? Permission to do
Permission
what?
to squat on the deck. Oh my God! The Chinese are over there going. Anyways, we went down that road.
Chop.
But something I do want to bring up seriously,
Okay.
not forget.
Last thing here.
The insurrection if you turn on MSNBC, they talk about it daily. There was an insurrection all summer with Portland, Seattle, burning, trying to kill people in federal buildings, whatever. But the Washington one, all right, disrespect shown, the property there and stuff is uncalled for. All right, and those people should go and be punished. But are you aware of the fact that people arrested on January 6th, mostly, if not all, white men, Christian, are being held in deplorable conditions? This is not a joke.
Okay.
They're not being fed properly. They're not being allowed doctors. They are not being allowed their clergy. Now, these Muslims in the prisons, you can't touch their rugs.
Yeah.
They have their prayer time. They got to pray.
They got to bow to the east.
These guys from the insurrection here, or whatever, that were arrested, are being held. They're not
Americans.
getting. They're all Americans. They're not being given court dates.
No.
The one lawyer spoke out. His client is terrified. They come and they took somebody in the cell next to him out, and he came back beaten up.
Oh my
He's
God.
lost vision in his eye. All right. There was mold and shit coming out of his sink. The lawyer called for an inspection. They moved everybody out the week before, painted and cleaned, and brought the inspectors in. This is American citizens being treated this way.
That sounds like a bad movie, like You're Caught in Grease.
This is happening in Washington, D.C., folks.
Pretty sad.
And not a single weapon was found on any of those people. Okay?
Right.
What they did was wrong. It's a lack of respect. They should be punished and whatever.
Yeah.
But this...
But not more than they're punishing the people that are burning down cities and Muslims.
Cammie Harris, who I don't know where she is right
She's
now,
wonderful, Tom.
was bailing people out that did the same thing in Portland, Seattle, and Minnesota.
I think Cammie Harris...
That's happening. Look it up.
Cammie Harris could be the best vice president ever in this country. But anyway, I digress. I think it's time we shut it down. It could be fairly lengthy here, but I think another good show.
Join the Navy.
Woo!
You know, hey, any port in the storm? Apparently not a problem in the Navy.
Well, and you don't know which port you're in the storm.
No, you don't. No, you don't. But
what are you doing with it? All right, guys.
Scary, isn't it?
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Talk to you soon. And
Tom, don't forget.
when the others arrive.
Don't forget Timmy.
Oh, Timmy. Hey, T. Ow!